What's up, everyone? You are tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 728, coming at you on xrpradio.co.uk out of Scotland, megarockradio.net and 107.1 KFGD out of St. Louis, Missouri, Rudu Radio from Texas and California, buildthescene.com out of Leechburg, Pennsylvania, and music from the 412.com out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. With me tonight are my guests from Uprising. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey.
So, real quick, introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band. We'll get that out of the way right off the bat.
Okay. Bala Rise. I sing and I play guitar.
I'm DB. I play bass and also sing.
I'm Eve. I play guitar. And our drummer Eli couldn't be today.
So, having watched, you know that I'm going to ask some odd questions.
Yes, I'm prepared. We thought we gave you some thought.
I'm going to start with the same two I started off with 3 Leagues to Roam. So, the first one is, having been in a band, what is the best pizza you've had because you're in a band? So you have to link it to like a recording session or on your way to or from a gig or at a gig. Something along those lines.
New York?
No.
Okay.
It is the Papa John's we ordered after the Butler show because it was bought with show money. It was the first food I had that was bought with show money. And I'm like, this tastes so much better because I earned it from doing something I love. Yeah, and I also hadn't had Papa John's in a while. I was like,
Yeah, we also played in New York last month, and we got that authentic slice while you're in between going to the gig. It's the best.
Tony's Pizzeria.
Yeah, Tony's Pizzeria in Brooklyn. Shout out Tony's.
It's a foosball table in there.
I hate that.
So I have a love-hate relationship with Papa John's. It's I worked at Cedar Point for a summer. And off the causeway, as soon as you get into Sandusky, there was a Papa John's there. So when you would get off work, you would order from there like almost every night because everything else was closed. And the reason it was love-hate was because the pizza's okay, but everybody that was working at Cedar Point would order so that they would come in stacked on top of each other. And if your pizza was at the bottom, the cheese was stuck to the top of the box. So you hate it that night, but when you called and complained, they gave you the next pizza for free. So every other night, pizza was free.
That's cool.
that's a good system.
Yeah.
But all right. So the other question is, and this one is, it's the official Build a Scene question. There's a whole story behind it, and someday Dave Grohl is going to hear it and want to come on and talk to me. That's the plan. Who is your Dave Grohl? And by that I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs?
My favorite band is Rage Against the Machine. Love them. So definitely like them, and more specifically like Zach De La Roca.
Do you have a specific song you'd want to perform with them?
Oh, they have a lot of good songs. Every one of their songs is good. I'd be happy to play literally any of them. But Be It Now is a good deep cut I like. It was never like a single. Stop People on Fire. I like that song a lot. Or Bullet in the Head. I love that one too. That'd be all.
I'd probably have to go with Meshuggah play Bleed live. That would be like the best feeling. Like I would peak. That'd be amazing.
I'd probably go with Weed Eater, stoner metal out of North Carolina. They anything off of their God Luck and Good Speed album would be a dream. That'd be wild.
Would you eat weed with them on stage?
I would eat weed with them on stage.
That was a different question. Maybe I should ask you the type of pizza.
I was definitely hungry enough for the pizza.
So let's say you're leaving a show, and you notice there's a DeLorean sitting there with its doors up in the air and a flux capacitor in the back, so you can go back in time and hang out with any band in the history of the world. What band are you going to want to hang out with?
Okay, so I have a joke answer and I have a real answer.
Okay.
The joke answer is I go back to the late 70s and hang out with Queen. And I'd give Freddie Mercury PrEP so he doesn't get AIDS. And he lives a long time. But my real answer is I think it'd be really cool to see Nirvana like right before they like blew up with Nevermind, but like while they were still playing those songs in their set list, before they were recorded and released. So like 1990, like in like a basement in Seattle would be like my ideal.
I might have to tag along for that one.
Yeah.
I'd have to pick Acid Bath. They're a smaller band, but like they don't play shows anymore, obviously. I don't think they've played shows since I've been alive, so it'd be cool to see them live because I like listening to their music and shit. All the other bands I really listen to, I'd have an opportunity to see at least once.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can think of right now is I want to see Wesley Willis. I would love to see him play. A legend. If you know, you know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You need to know. He's just a legend.
Google Wesley Willis.
Google Wesley. Yes.
So let's say I'm driving your tour bus. What music am I going to be playing in between show stops? So, basically I'm asking you for your influences.
Okay.
We get a lot of System in the playlist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of like classic hardcore, Bad Brains.
Although on the last tour we did, we had a lot of like rap on.
Yeah,
really. We were listening to like a lot of Kendrick Lamar and shit.
That's Eli's playlist.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I remember Eli played. He's like he also was in like a he jumped like a live hip hop band too, called the Southsiders, and so he's also a big like hip hop fan, and he's playing a lot of like Kendrick stuff in my car on the way to New York and Philly. But yeah,
it was a vibe.
It was. But yeah, those aren't our influences.
No. We put on like
metal,
like Tool. I think we put on Anima, that album, and I think what was another album we put on like at the start. I don't remember either. I'm trying.
I'm the only one in the band that likes Megadeth. I want to listen to Rest in Peace.
No,
I was taking photos this weekend at Rock for Life, and the headliner Friday night was a Tool tribute band, which I was into. I like Tool, but they did everything like Tool. So the singer was like in the back corner, and I was supposed to be taking photos, and I got annoyed and left because I couldn't get them.
I do photography too, and it's always like when people like aren't in where the light is, it's like annoying and like, come on, don't you know I'm trying to make photos that are supposed to look good? Yeah.
I mean, I still ended up with photos of them, but they're all black and white because I really had to tweak the camera to get anything. Let's see. What are we looking at time-wise? Okay, I'm going to give you one more question in this segment, and then we're going to take a break. If you could play with any band anywhere in the world, it doesn't have to be a known venue. It could be in the alleyway in the photo behind us. And I'm going to use that to segue real quick. Remind me who you said took that photo?
Isabel Luciani.
And if anyone is interested in contacting her, how can they get a hold of her for photos?
She's a great photographer.
Instagram.
Yeah.
At
that name.
Yeah, just look at that name.
It's Isabella Luciani Photography.
Something like that.
Oh, hi. I got a cat on my lap now.
That happens. They tend to pop up on the camera. All right. So now I forget what. Oh, any band, any venue.
So it's going forward. Nothing in the past.
Wait, can it be in the past?
Yeah, we still have a DeLorean.
Question.
Yeah,
that's what that would be.
Well, okay, like I'm thinking like modern hardcore bands. Like I really like Turnstile. That'd be cool to share the stage with them. Destroy Boys, another band I really like. that's like modern punk band. I don't know.
I just think every show should be in a basement somewhere. So I don't really dream that big about the venue.
We need to find like the world's biggest basement and play with like a huge hardcore band.
There it is. That's it.
Like the basement of like a warehouse.
Yeah, no, perfect. I would love to play in a warehouse. Like,
there used to be a venue in Katanning that was a warehouse.
Oh yeah.
Club Radioactive.
Oh nice.
Nice.
But the acoustics are great.
Yeah, there was one in like Wilkinsburg called Collision too, here in Pittsburgh. That close. Yeah. It was a vibe. It was the toilet didn't work, but that was part of the appeal. It was like so like DIY and dirty and grimy, but they had the grimy music playing. It was like hardcore and harsh noise and experimental and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna give away 2 tickets to the Super Suckers, and a few other bands. I'll get into that in a moment. But I forgot to mention what we listened to at the top of the show. We heard a brand new track from Blood Union called On Top. We also heard from Eden on Fire and their fairly new track, Fallen. And what we're going to listen to next is from Uprising. We're going to listen to You Made Us Too. And we'll be right back.
All right.
So I have 2 tickets to give away to Super Suckers with Lord of Altamont, the Ravagers, and the Cheats at the Craft House on Tuesday, July 9th, so a little over a week from today. The doors are at 5:30. If you do not win tickets tonight, you can still purchase them. They range from $21 to $26. There are preferred seats at the Craft House. Those are 8 tickets and premium seating. You have to get those ahead of time. But anyway, it's really easy to win these things. What you have to do is go to musicfrom412.com/contest. You click on the event you want to go to. There is a little share button. You click it. You tag Music from 412 and Drusky Entertainment. And then there's a form that you fill out with your name and your email address, which gives you your information to me so that I can add you to the wheel that's above my head right now. And then I spin. If it lands on your name, you will receive an email from me, and eventually later in the evening, another email from Drusky Entertainment telling you where to get your tickets. Sometimes they are sent directly to you in email. Sometimes you have to pick them up at the venue. I can't tell you how that works. I can just tell you that you're going to get an email explaining to you how you're getting them. So for this particular show, we had 3 people enter. So if you're listening to this, the odds are always really good for you to win tickets. And they're always pretty good shows. So make sure you go to musicfrom412.com/contest and enter. So for this week, we had Tina Laydig, Andrew Carr, and Keith Laydig. And I'm going to go ahead and spin, and we will find out who our winner is. Andrew Carr has won the tickets. Andrew, keep an eye on your email for for that email from myself, and then a follow-up from Adam from Drusky Entertainment. And we'll be right back with Uprising. Okay, we are back on episode number 728 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me tonight is Uprising. If you're just tuning in, we gave away some tickets. We've heard from Blood Union and Eden on Fire, and just now we heard the song You Made Us Too by Uprising. And this is where I'm going to give you your MTV moment. And this is probably before all your time, but they used to have a show on MTV called Storytellers where they talked about one of their songs, and that's what I'm looking for you to do. Tell me something about the song You Made Us To.
Okay. Yeah, I got a whole story about this song. More than the other ones, honestly. This one has a whole backstory. So, You Made Us To is a song about my dad who passed away in 2021. Oh, sorry. And it's basically a tribute song to him, like thanking him for like raising me and my siblings up to be punks. And originally I wrote the song like years ago, or like shortly after he passed away. And at the time I was in a band called Understatement, and we were more of like a pop punk group. And we recorded a version of that and released it last year. And that was just called You Made Us. And it was a lot more like melodic and somber. And then when I formed this band, which we formed in like the fall of 2023, that song meant a lot to me, so I wanted to keep it around in our set list. And so I put the lyrics and like reworked it into like a song that's inspired by Metallica and Slayer, because those were some of his favorite bands growing up. And we just add the 2 at the end. So it's like kind of, you made us 2, but like 2 also isn't like he made us, as in he made the band a thing as well, but by like making me into metal and hardcore. So that's the story of that song. But most of our other songs are actually pretty political. That's our one break we get from politics.
Let's see. All right, so some of my questions come from movies, as you can tell.
Okay,
Let's see if you figure out which movie this one comes from. So you're sitting on a bench and you get to talk someone's ear off, but it's kind of a reverse situation. Your musical idol sits down beside you, but you're only able to ask them one question, but you wanted to keep them talking. So who's sitting next to you and what are you going to ask them?
Is this Forrest Gump?
It is.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I don't know how to think about it. Do you have one off the top of your head?
I have a person I'd like to talk to. I don't know exactly what I'd ask them. So I'm thinking the person I'd ask, it's probably Buster Odom of Humanity's Last Breath and Viljarda. He incredible mixing engineer on top of being a drummer and guitarist. And I'm just going to ask him, it's like, how did you come across the sound to your new record, Ashen? How did you what was the process? And that's the question I'd ask.
Huh?
So like get the whole mixing and writing, how he got the sound. So asking the questions of tones or whatever, the mixing question.
Mixing equipment.
Yeah.
Pedals. I think you probably keep him talking for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if there's any burning question I had about a musician, I could probably just Google it. I can't think of anything that we never got to find out that I care about. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think
You're missing the fun of it.
I know. I'm trying to think dead musicians that I like, but I can't think of anything that I want to ask them. I don't know. I'm content with all the answers in life I have at my disposal.
And that's how you don't grow.
My day job is I teach 4th through 8th graders, and one of the things I tell people all the time is they don't seem to remember anything because they know they can just Google it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, how about you, JB?
That's tough. Because I feel like most of my favorite artists, I either already am friends with, or I could just kind of, I don't know, figure it out myself if I'm inspired. I like to learn by ear, so I'd
ask Courtney Love if she killed Kurt Cobain or not.
Oh, I bet she won't answer.
She just get up and walk away.
That's the only answer you need.
You didn't have all your stipulations.
I may or may not have spent a whole week's worth in service in the back of the room reading about that instead of paying attention. But
what do you think happened?
I am not going to say it on the air, but I bet you know what I think happened.
Okay.
His head just did that on its own.
That's not what I think happened. Let's see. What is there a particular piece of equipment that each of you uses that you absolutely have to have? Like, if you forgot it, would you have to turn around and go home to get it?
Oh, they definitely both use are very particular about the pedals. I'm not. I use the gain on my amp and the distortion on my amp, and I use a tuner pedal. But they got the whole pedal boards. I'm sure they got.
Yeah.
For you.
See, I would have.
I mean, mine's simple. I got this Morley JD 10 pedal that's I could only find one of even since I got it on Reverb. It's this old overdrive distortion pedal that they use a lot of country music actually, but it's got this rock button that if you press, it just gives it the best crunchy old school sound. And I could use pretty much any bass with it, any cab, and I get that tone I'm looking for.
I feel like I'm not really super attached to any of the things I have. I feel like if I really wanted to, honestly, I'd be willing to trade it all of my sound stuff in and get a quad Cortex or a Line 6 because it's just so much more efficient.
You tell me you're fine playing all these songs on a 6-string? You don't want your 7-string anymore?
I don't use it anymore. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah,
you're attached to your Archon though. You like that amp.
It's a love-hate relationship with that amp. It's too noisy. A quad Cortex would be dead quiet.
We're still sorting some stuff out.
Yeah. I like how my stuff sounds, but it's just it would all be easier and cheaper to just go to that. But I acquired all of that over time, and a lot of it was gifted to me. So it's
Sorry, it took me all that time to realize I forgot to put a picture behind me. So I'm gonna back out of the way there for a second. That is a common crown from this weekend, actually.
Oh, nice.
That's one of the guitarists, Kyle, and the lead singer, Jennifer, who commented on this photo that she doesn't know why her neck hurts. Let's see. I'm going to give you one more question, then we're going to take another break. This is a tough one, and it may take a little bit of time.
Okay, I'm ready.
If you were going to manage a band from the local scene and you could handpick the musicians that were going to be in the band, who would you put in your band? And feel free to mention what. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Are you saying we can build up a super group out of local band members?
That's exactly what I mean.
The first guitarist for this band that pops in my head is Noah from Princess.
He's pretty good.
I think he'll shred on anything. Got a wild vocalist or something.
I remember. I think one of the best young drummers in the city is his name's Brandon Cloutenbaugh. He played in a band called Penny Ties, also with Noah.
Oh, yeah.
But he also so he can play grindcore drums, but he also has played backing band for an R&B artist named Josiah Council. So he has such a huge range of influences, and he's such a good drummer. He'd definitely be the drummer I'd pick.
I have a vocalist and a drummer in mind. I'm trying to think of a guitarist and bassist.
Who do you think?
I think it'd be interesting if V from Kicked in the Head by a Horse.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Riot could be a good drummer for some grindcore sort of stuff.
Riot from Lilith.
Yeah, Riot from Lilith. I'm trying to think of what a good guitarist.
What about bass?
Or bassist.
Yeah, we don't got a
other than the DB Lawless over here would probably do well on that. But someone outside of this, I'm trying to think still.
I think of a crazy bassist I've seen recently.
Yeah. For something heavier like that.
I'm going to pull out Devin from Spiral.
Oh, yeah, Devin. He used to play bass in our band. It's Spiral. That's on there, sure.
Actually, you know what?
He hasn't really
maybe. Maybe. Let's go with Razorblades guitarist. I forget.
Sammy
Slammy.
Slammy. Yeah.
That'd be cool. And then bassist. He can do the dude that played with Trainwrecks that one time. I don't know what he's in.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's in.
Trainwrecks basis.
Backup bassist for local PGH band Trainwrecks. I never got their name, but they were a really good bassist.
Oh, man. I had them. Well, it wouldn't have been the backup bassist, but I had them on the show once.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're great. We played with them in Razorblade like a week ago.
Yeah.
Great show.
I was taking photos of them at the Halfway to Halloween show.
Oh yeah, they played the Slipknot. I saw them. I was there.
Yes,
my
I was
band,
there too.
Yeah, my band Understatement played like the week after with the same guy, like some dynamics. We played a NoFX cover set.
I was out there, and the pit formed around me, and I got kicked in my shoulders, like between my shoulder blades. While I was holding the camera up to take a picture, I was not happy.
There wasn't much of a pit at the show, but there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, it was. There was one guy in particular who was like throwing his body around, and he was the one that got me. He, like, helicoptered his leg. I don't know how to describe it. And right between my shoulder blades.
Oh, that's a bad place.
But all right, so we're gonna take another break. This time we're gonna listen to Chip and the Charge Ups, Paying Back the Devil, and Homicide Black, Where My Demons Lie. And we will be right back. We are back on episode 728 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. And if you're watching the video, you're probably wondering why they're over there giggling too, like I am. Something funny happened there. Perhaps. So we just heard Chip and the Charge Ups, Paying Back the Devil, and Homicide Black, Where My Demons Lie. So far, other than the Uprising song and the Blood and Union song we've heard, these are actually songs that are up for the Grassy Award at 97.7, the Grassroots Show. I'm not playing all of them this week. I have most of them, but I've grabbed a handful of them, and I did want to point that out. The banner that was just up in between segments here was for the Grassroots Band Jam Festival. If you're interested in that, it's really cool. It's actually Thursday through Saturday. It's in Slippery Rock. It's thebandjam.com. But anyway, let's get back to Uprising. So recently you changed the band name.
Yes, we did.
And I kind of think I know why, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Okay, so the original name of the band was Bala Rise and the Uprising on Bala Rise. And there's a couple of reasons. The main thing was that when I formed this band, I wrote a bunch of songs. I tracked drums, scratch tracks, guitar, bass, vocals, and I found people to play with me. So it was it started off as just my thing, but as we've been together for I don't know, almost a year, maybe 9 months.
Me and you started jamming in August.
Yeah. It just becomes a much more collaborative project, and BB has a song that they sing, and probably more like that, where I'm not even the front person for the song, so it's not really about me anymore. We're we're a unit. The other factor was that my name's a mouthful, and I that's something that I forgot to think about when deciding this, because people around me in the scene when I was on Understatement, they are familiar enough with my name. And I was trying to kind of carry on the momentum from that band when they broke up into a new one. But I forgot how weird my name actually is to people who've never heard it before, and we were playing to new crowds, new scenes, and new friends. So it's very hard to remember, and venue's been around 3 different times. I think that place in Morgantown, they wrote Bala Rose and the Uprising. On our first show, the flyer said Bala Rising and Uprising, and then in York, Pennsylvania, it was Bala Rise and Uprise.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think that one might have been because there wasn't enough space on
maybe
corkboard.
Yeah. So it made sense, and like the reason why I started thinking about changing the name was because I was thinking about how there's a lot of like modern hardcore bands with like one syllable names. So there's like there's Gel, there's Slice,
Low,
Sour,
Throne.
Salt, yeah. I was like, what if we shorten our name? And at first, so like, oh, we already have it in there. The last word, Uprising. It's two syllables, but it's close enough. And then I started thinking, like, are there any like hardcore bands that have like a name and the other name? And like, I couldn't think of any. That's not like a thing that hardcore bands do. And so like, it made logistical sense to change the name, and it's now like more fitting to our style. I think when someone sees the name Uprising, they're more likely to think of a hardcore band than a whole Bala Rise and Uprising. So it's like branding too, and like we only have one single out, and we're gonna start recording soon, so it felt like a good time. Or we started recording. We're gonna put out an album hopefully this year, and so it was a good time to make this swap before we put out anything big.
Are you self-recording, or are you going to the studio?
We recorded drums in a studio with Noah Summers, who plays in the band Princess. I don't know if the studio has like a name. It's just his basement, but he's like recorded and mastered a lot of bands. And we got down to drums so far, but we're not rushing this album at all. We got time. But yeah, we're gonna do guitar, bass, vocals, and like send it back to him to mix and master.
And there's no time frame on that. Just
no. Yeah. Well, there was You Made Us Too, our single we put out. I wanted to specifically make that sure it was out on my dad's birthday, since it was about him, which was March 25th, and there was a bit of a scramble to get that on time. We like messed up how we recorded drums, and it was all on one track rather than like split up to be mixed properly. And like I needed to get my sister in to do back vocals on the part, and like she like wasn't ready at all for that one. Wasn't rehearsed, and it was a whole debacle. But we got it out on time. Like we probably just barely made like the Spotify like upload cutoff date. So I don't do that again. We don't have any plans to have it. We don't have a deadline. Even Understatement, when I was in that band, we wanted to make sure our album was out because we had a big like following in like the Oakland Pitt University like basement scene, and so we wanted to get the album out before like the end of the semester, which would be the end of April. So we did scramble a little to get it out on like in like April 15th, I remember. And I'm just so tired of doing that. It's so stressful. So we're just gonna record it and probably gonna sit on it and find a label to release it under. We're not rushing it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have coming up next? You have some shows lined up. Clearly you're working on recording.
Yeah. So this month is a little unusually dry for us. We usually play like 2 or 3 a month, but we don't got anything until July 27th. We're playing at the Jim in I Metal Mayhem Fest up in West Springfield, Pennsylvania, which is by Erie. It's like a 3-day fest of like bands that are like local to like the Pennsylvania and probably you. I'm excited about that. And then on the 28th, my sister actually runs a house venue that's like shutting down called the Rose Bowl, and we're playing their like final show ever. They usually just have acoustic stuff to not piss off the neighbors. And since this is the last show, we're just gonna bring out the heavy hitters with the loud drums and the screaming. And we got a
Rose Bowl.
Yeah, RIP Rose Bowl. We got a couple things in the works for September, but nothing that's announced yet. That's nothing that has a lineup finalized. And in September, we're playing September 28th. We're playing Fuzz Fest in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's an all-day event of a bunch of like heavy and psychedelic bands.
Also, other ways people can get in touch with you on the screen in the video below me. I've had it up there the whole show. It's Linktree/Uprising HC. Yeah, I saw that. Notice I didn't point, and it's only below me. I learned a long time ago that everything's backwards on the screen, and so Linktree/Uprising HC. But how else can they where would you prefer they contact you?
I would say we're most active on Instagram, which is Uprising.hc, and I got an email, which is still the old band name, Bala Rise, and uprising@gmail.com, all one word. If you want to email us to be professional.
You could actually go see Bala at their house.
Yeah.
They live at.
No,
That has happened occasionally where addresses have been given out. Actually, this past Thursday we were at we did Rocky from Music from the 412 and myself hosted I guess we're calling it the Homestead Shows. Are you guys familiar with Ralph's Musicians Guild?
I don't think I am. No.
Okay. So it's an old railroad car garage. Like they would repair railroad cars. It's in West Homestead, right by Sandcastle. And it's now set up into a bunch of little rooms and practice rooms. And there's actually a main room with a stage, and you can rent the stage and go in and practice on the stage too. So
that's cool.
If anyone's looking for somewhere to practice, or you want to work on your stage presence a little bit, check out Ralph's Musicians Guild. But inside Ralph's Musicians Guild is where the Music from 412 studios are. And we did a live radio/TV show last week. And on it was Norm Nardini and Bobby C. from Royal Honey. And George, who used to own Excuses. And we were doing that. And I forget why I brought that up. You guys said something that made me... I don't remember why I brought it up. But you can check that out on Music from the 412. It is on our on-demand. And you can hear a bunch of local music. You can hear Norm teach me a bunch of swear words that I didn't know existed.
New slurs.
Are you guys familiar with who Norm is?
I'm not, no.
Okay, so Norm Nardini is a Pittsburgh rock legend. He started in the 70s. He was in the band Norm Nardini and the Tigers. And at one point, John Bon Jovi opened for him.
Oh, wow.
So
that's cool.
And he's very, very much Italian and very much old school Italian. And if you want to learn some new words, go check that out. I wish I remember why I brought it up.
Was it like a recent thing you said? Because we talked about like basements earlier, warehouses.
No, it was something you just said.
About it, we have upcoming shows in like Morgantown, West Virginia, Fuzz Fest, Erie Metal Fest.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I am old in case you didn't figure that out.
Home address. I think that was the last.
Oh, it's the home address. Yes. So Norm, Rocky's house used to be Norman Nardini's recording studio. So Norm gave away the address during the show.
Oh.
That's what it was. And then I told Rocky that was karma because he gave away Doc Rock's address on a show once too. So Doc Rock from Metal Shop 101, which you guys should probably contact. I'm sure he'd be interested.
Yeah, the name seems really familiar. I feel like I've heard it before. I might be
well, he's on Music from the 412 and about 30 other streaming radio stations. Okay. But okay, so have you ever watched the Hot Ones show?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know at the end when he goes, "There's a camera there, there's a camera there, there's a camera there. Tell me what you have going on or anything you want to say." We're at that point in the show where I'm giving you like 30 seconds to throw out anything we haven't talked about.
I don't know.
Shout out Lawless Collective.
Yeah,
shout out Gumlock Records.
Yep.
Shout out the Lawless Locust. We got a show here in Carnegie on 4th of July. Follow us. Ask for address. We got
Ask a Poser.
Mm-hmm.
Another shout out to Noah.
Another shout out to Noah for recording and being awesome.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Shout out Gloom Doom for always being awesome.
Shout out Spiral.
Shout out Blind Adam in the Federal League. They make a great shirt. They got us thinking.
Shout out Chat Pile. They make a great hat.
Shout out GPT for writing my essays.
Hey guys, I want to thank you for hanging out with me.
For nothing. Come on.
So thank you guys for hanging out with me on episode 728.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, thanks for having us. Thank you. Good.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with the show, in about 20 minutes, if you go to musicfrom412.com/radio, buildascene.com/radio, or xrpradio.co.uk, you will be able to hear the show in full, including all the music that we have played, which brings me to the last couple of tracks. We're going to be hearing from Brian Genovese and his song My Dear and Half Will Rain. And we will see you next week.
Peace.